Welcome back to Adventures of a Black Belt Sommelier, sponsored by Four Paws Restaurant, the iconic fine dining restaurant in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's located in a really beautiful and beautifully restored mansion here, built in 1870, where I am the sommelier. I worked my first shift last night as the sommelier, and I have to tell you, Four Paws is a really, really fine restaurant. The food is wonderful. The service is excellent and professional. And of course, the wine service is brilliant. Um, I've told this story here before, but these podcasts, they tend to disappear after time. And I think this story is fun enough and amusing enough and entertaining enough that I would share it again. Um, about my most embarrassing moment as a sommelier. I believe it was 1982 because I was 30 years old. Um, that would have been 1982. I was the moderator of a tasting of several vintages of a Bordeaux called Chateau Lynch Bages with the owner of the estate, Jean-Michel Cazes, for about 500 people in a ballroom at the Loews Vanderbilt Plaza Hotel in Nashville. I was very nervous, to say the least. This was my first time hosting a really large, really important wine tasting like that, especially with someone of the prominence of Jean-Michel Cazes. I was really nervous. So anyway, when they poured the first wine, the first vintage of the Chateau Lynch Bages, I swirled my glass and I swirled it much too hard, much too vigorously, and I scattered wine all over. Well, not all over, but I sprayed wine on me, on Jean-Michel Cazes, and the people close in the front row of the ballroom. Um, it was it wasn't the end of the world. It was kind of a moment of humor. We kind of cleaned, both Jean-Michel and I were wearing white shirts. So it was kind of very prominent that there was red wine stains on them. But we kind of cleaned everybody up. It was kind of everybody laughed. It's almost like I'd done it on purpose to to start the tasting off with a humorous moment. But I was really embarrassed, and what can you do? You go on. I moderated the wine tasting. It was very successful. People had a great time. Jean-Michel Cazes was a really, really fun, engaging, you know, very highly regarded winemaker and person. And it was just fun kind of getting to know him a little bit and conducting this wine tasting. It was part of a charity wine event that some friends of mine and I founded about 47 years ago in Nashville that has raised tens of millions of dollars for cancer-related causes in Middle Tennessee. One of the things I'm most proud of in my career is this wine auction, charity wine auction that has done so much good in the world. About 2 years later, I got on the train to TGV in Paris to go to Bordeaux for a vacation with my wife and son in the Dordogne. And the two seats we were sitting in were facing each other. So my wife was sitting beside me, and my son was sitting across from my wife, facing my wife. And Jean-Michel Cazes boarded the train and sat down right in front of me, facing me. It never occurred to me that Jean-Michel Cazes would remember me. It was 2 years later, and he's really, really important, and I'm really not important. But about a few minutes later, after the train started off, the porter came and asked if we would like a water or coffee. And Jean-Michel Cazes said, "Whatever you do, don't give that guy a glass of red wine." So he did remember me. And we laughed. It was funny. He was amused. He wasn't upset, but it was a funny moment. And the result was we chatted for I think hour and a half, I don't exactly remember, but about an hour and a half trip from Paris to Bordeaux. So that made it fun. Otherwise, we would have just sat there staring into space. Well, I probably would have introduced myself to him. But anyway, we had a nice conversation between Paris and Bordeaux about life in general and wine, and about the time that I spread wine all over him, me, and the people in the front row at this wine tasting, almost like it was a seed spreader. So that's my most embarrassing moment as a sommelier. I hope I don't have one tonight that's more embarrassing. Come see me at Four Paws. It's really, really fantastic. Really, really beautiful restaurant. Thank you for tuning in for Adventures of a Black Belt Sommelier.